Making sense of politics and the cultural divide from a different perspective. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant on News Radio 710 Keel.
Why, hello, folks. Glad to be with you again. It is a great day in the USA. In fact, it's Wednesday, and welcome to it. This is C.L. Bryant, America on the Edge. Well, you'll not live on the edge. You'll have the edge. Inviting you to stay a while here with me and my co-host, Stephen Parr. Stephen, tell the folks what we got going on in the lineup today.
Oh, we got a lot going on today. You know, California, the Golden Bear state out there, could become the Golden Bears state. They're looking to try and split up into several states, and a proposal to do that may have cleared a milestone today.
They're going to spread the fruits and the nuts out around the places.
In agriculture and all the other things going on in California, yes. Also, we are talking with Bill Cassidy. Bill Cassidy is running for Senate against Mary Landrieu and is looking for your vote. He will be talking to us coming up later on the show.
It'll be interesting, folks.
And we're also talking about compassion, especially when it comes to what's going on the border with the illegal immigrant children coming up. We've got some clips from your friend, Glenn Beck, talking about some of that compassion. And it leads us to our question of the day. Is there any country anywhere in the world that's more compassionate than the United States of America?
Name one.
That's what we're asking you to do. And so you can send that to our Twitter at The American Edge, or our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/America on the Edge. You can also call in. We want to talk to you on the phone. Call in 320-KEEL, K-E-E-L, about that.
Tell them how they can sponsor, be a part of helping us advance this show. I mean, we're about to blow up, folks, and we'd certainly like for you to be on board when that happens.
Yeah, I was at a luncheon earlier today, and a lot of folks have been listening to the show, and appreciate you listening in, appreciate the support you're giving us. And if you want to be a part of that support, you can send us an email to ad@americaontheedge.com.
Fantastic. You know what, folks, today in our nation, we are facing great decision. There are great decisions that we have to face in this country. And the topics that we're going to be dealing with today are going to be the type of topics that you are going to be very interested in calling in on. And we invite you to call in to the show because I want you to know something. We need your participation in this process. America on the Edge will be a show that will build bridges between people who have not been connected before. We're wanting to connect some dots that have not been connected. And today, we also want to remind you that we're blessed to be here because we are the greatest success story the world has ever known. I can't wait to start talking about the breakup of California, man.
That's coming up. Let's start with the buzz and some things that are not connected.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz?
Speaking of things that are not connected, let's listen to Harry Reid talk about the border. This was at a press conference yesterday at the Capitol.
Remember, had we done comprehensive immigration reform, we wouldn't be having this issue. And everyone here, the border is secure. Martin Heinrich talked to the caucus today. He's a border state senator. He said he can say without any equivocation, the border is secure.
One of them needs to be, is Harry medicated or what? Or should he be medicated? Maybe he should be shot with a tranquilizer gun. I mean, this guy, he is really off the reservation. I'm telling you.
I just don't understand. By the way, the senator he was talking about, Heinrichs, is from New Mexico, which is right next to Old Mexico, and
not as dirty.
You're hearing the problems you're hearing about are people coming into Texas across the Rio Grande, and then they're shipping them to Arizona, so they're not stopping in New Mexico. So I'm not sure the senator from New Mexico is the best.
What you're saying is that naturally the senator from New Mexico would say, Oh, yeah, the border's secure.
That's
They're
fine.
not coming here.
Yeah.
So the border has to be secure.
Right, because the federal government is shipping them from Texas to Arizona and then California and then Oklahoma and Nebraska and everywhere else. So
Oh, wow.
I don't understand what Harry Reid was talking about. But, hey, I want to play another clip for you because apparently what we're trying to do with the show is one of the things we're trying to do is bridge the racial divide. Apparently, CL, you and I are doing it wrong. Listen to Eric Holder speaking at Howard University.
No, man.
As it stands, our society is not yet colorblind, nor should it be, given the disparities that still afflict and divide us. We must be color brave and must never forget that all are made better and more prosperous if all are given equal opportunities.
Now, Stephen, I really don't know what he's talking about, color brave. What is that? What color brave? Tell me what you think color brave is.
I think it's wearing white after Labor Day. That's
I remember
man,
a time.
that is brave.
Oh, my mother would slap you.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, man. Why this is so crazy. We were color brave when we elected the first. Is he still calling us cowards?
I think that's the opposite. I mean, if we're not being color blind, we should be color brave. If we're not being color brave, then we are being color
cowards.
cowards.
Then what were we when Barack Obama was elected the first person of color to the White House? Were we not color brave then?
No, because only black people voted for Barack Obama.
You kidding?
Yeah.
Are you kidding
Yes,
me?
I'm kidding. Yes, absolutely, I'm kidding.
I mean, really.
I don't understand. Now, this phrase, color brave, apparently started with a lady named Melanie Hobson, who is the CEO of DreamWorks.
Yeah.
So she works for Steven Spielberg, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and David Geffen.
Now, Melanie is her name?
Melody.
Melody.
Yeah.
Is Melody white, black? And now here in America, we have to use colors.
She is black.
She's black.
Yeah.
And she works for Spielberg.
And she was doing a TED Talk, and she first brought up this whole thing about color brave. And what she was trying to say is we have to be brave enough to talk about color. And
the Attorney General of the United States is picking off someone who works for Spielberg. He lives in a Spielberg world.
I think he thinks that what she said about color brave is a nice thing, and he's trying to do that. But you know what? The law, and Holder's the head of the judicial department, right?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the lead lawyer of the country. The law has to be colorblind.
Yeah, but
otherwise, the law is racist.
Yeah, but going back to Spielberg, I believe that Holder believes in flying bicycles and E.T. and all of that, man. I'm telling you, when you're taking the words of a Spielberg employee and coining them as your own, there is something wrong with an AG doing that.
You know what? I think you've touched on something here because E.T. was an illegal alien. He did not have paperwork to be here.
I can't believe you went there, man. I can't believe it. But he was.
He was. And you know what? We sent him home.
Oh,
he wanted to go home.
Fact,
we sent him
he
home.
He wanted to phone home.
Yeah, we sent him on a bicycle.
Oh,
anyway, this we were talking about California breaking up into 6 states. That's coming up right after this. We also want to know from you, is there another country that is more compassionate than the United States of America? Send us your answer to that at The American Edge on Twitter, at The American Edge, or you can call in 320-KEEL, K-E-E-L.
This is C.L. Bryant with Stephen Parr, America on the Edge. We'll be right back.
Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
If the number on your thermostat is going up just as quickly as the temperature outside, your air conditioner may have a serious problem. Give the friendly folks over at Premier Heating and Cooling a call at 222-1980.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burns. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
Have you ever thought, I wish I didn't have to search for the best price on printing or direct mail? Tired of trying to design your own material on some confusing website just to get to the end and it's not that professional look your business needs? Well, stop searching and call Graphic Industries. We've been waiting on your business, ready to help you with your printing and direct mail needs. Graphic Industries offers all types of print, stationery, brochures, flyers, catalogs, door hangers, books, pocket folders, postcards, variable printed letters, and much, much more. Graphic Industries can direct mail for you, too. You can customize a mailing list, target a certain demographic, or just flood the market and get your name in the homes of thousands of potential clients. Lowest prices, best quality, and a faster turn time. Visit us online at graphicindustries.net. or call us today at 318-222-1100. Graphic Industries, the #1 choice of printing and direct mail.
Conserving water is mostly a matter of using good common sense. Your porcelain throne is notorious for its hidden leaks, stealing water 24/7. A leaky toilet can waste hundreds of gallons of water a day and go completely undetected. So check your toilet for wear and proper adjustment periodically. The declining Sparta Aquifer is our main water source in North Louisiana. Do your part for water conservation. Be Sparta smart. Make every drop count. This public service announcement is brought to you by this radio station, a member of the Sparta Media Network.
You're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr. And C.L., we're starting to hear in from supporters. I was at a luncheon earlier today. Folks were saying, hey, go get them, C.L. And, of course, we just heard
Henry
that, too.
Burns, I just want to give you a shout-out here. Henry, thank you so much for your support, and all the rest of you out there who support us and those of you who will be supporting us. Thank you so much.
So in California, apparently the support is growing for support to wane. Let me try and explain here. There is a measure trying to get onto the ballot for November that would split the state of California up into 6 different states. This is being headed up by a Capitol evangelist named Tim Draper. He says he has gained 1.3 million signatures. That's going to be checked by the state, and if there's over 850,000 of those that are actual people, if they're good, then it will be put on the ballot to be voted on by the voters in November.
You never know in California, man. You never know.
You don't. And the idea is that it would split up into 6 different states. One would be the northernmost side, which is called Jefferson. Then they'd have another one that kind of runs just below that horizontally across the state. That one would be called North California. And then you'd have Silicon Valley, which is basically San Francisco.
We know where that is.
Right. You would have Central California, which actually ends up being West California. It's the Central Valley and then over towards the border of Nevada. You have South California, and then you've got Southeast California.
Now, have they identified where the poor people are going to live?
Yes, the poor people live up in Jefferson.
They'll move to the Jefferson.
Well, if this happens, what you do is California then creates 6 different states. One of those states, Jefferson, would be the poorest state in the country per capita.
And nobody will be moving on up there.
Well, I wonder if they would, because that would probably be a Republican part of the state.
Now, so you're telling me that they're going to put the poorest people in the property
Explain
this again.
The property values of people who live in the wealth that's accumulated in the northern side of the state that would become Jefferson is mostly rural agricultural land. There really aren't big cities in the very northern section.
Now, folks, we saw this earlier today when we were talking about this for show prep. Let me tell you something. You know as well as I know what has been happening with this Obama administration. And there has been an all-out effort to create class warfare in this country, an elitist type of predicament in this country that will, in fact, separate the haves and the have-nots. And Stephen, you know this, that in California, and I've spent time in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I have two good friends in Silicon Valley, and both of them, man, let me tell you, their houses are absolutely laid.
They are.
They are palaces. And let me there's a have and a have-not in California, particularly up around the Silicon Valley.
And that's right. Silicon Valley, if it became its own state, would be the richest state in the union per capita. So you'd have the poorest state and the richest state both coming out of California. There's a vast divide. Listen to one of the commercials trying to get people to get behind this effort.
It's bigger than New York, Pennsylvania, and these 7 other states combined. So big, it takes 14 hours to drive from one end to the other, like driving from New York to Miami, or driving through 10 countries in Europe. Just think, there are 38 million Californians, but only one governor. How can that governor look out for all 38 million of us? He is trying, but the state is too big and complicated to govern.
Question, where's the middle class?
In California, there really isn't a middle class. You've
just
got,
a have and a have-not.
Yeah, you've got the haves and the have-not. I mean, it really has become, when they talk about the 1%, the 1% lives in California.
Mm-hmm.
And then that other 1% also lives in California on the other end.
But now this is something that's catching on across the state. Across the country. This is something that is catching on across this nation. But there is still a visible middle class in most of America. What's happening here?
Well, yeah, one of the states where there is a visible middle class is Texas.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Texas, El Paso is closer to San Diego than it is to Beaumont.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't give me California's too big to govern because it takes 14 hours to drive across. It takes a day and a half to drive across Texas.
It's big.
The other thing is you can't say, well, the population, we've got 36 million people in California. That's too many for one governor. We've got over 300 million people in this country. Is that too much for one president? Well,
it's too
a
much
president
for
other than
perhaps
Obama.
this president.
Yeah.
But, just the folks, well, I'm not going to say I don't mean to insinuate certain things about his leadership, but the facts are the facts. He's failed us as far as leadership is concerned, and there have been others who have led 300 million people much better than he has. And no, it's not because he's black. It's because he's not been a good leader. And he has definitely perpetuated the idea of class warfare.
And that is definitely going on. Listen to Tim Draper, who is part of the 1%, talk about this initiative to break California up into 6 pieces.
Much the way AT&T improved services after its breakup, or our 3 forms of government each keeps each other in check. The 6 fresh states will provide excellent service to their people because they will know that if we are not happy with the state services that we are getting, we can easily move to another state and still enjoy the weather.
There will be a place where Hollywood elites, black and white, I'm talking about people with money, will be living, and there will be people in California, if they break it up like that, who will be in abject poverty.
That's absolutely right. And you also can't say, by splitting it up, all of a sudden the services are going to be better. If you're still voting for people that are supporting unions that work for the government, then those costs are going to be too high for whatever population's in that area.
But the have-nots in this particular case, their vote, it doesn't matter. You know what? It will really boil down to the fact that their vote won't count, because even though they may go to the ballot box, they have no initiative as far as this is concerned, because they don't have any skin in the game. They don't have any money. They don't have any capital. And guess what's going to be taken away? Opportunity. American opportunity is taken away in that type of scenario, because the wealthy, the ones with the capital, they really do call all the shots in that circumstance. None of the rest of us can climb to that height.
And this is, again, where it's a policy issue, not a size issue. Again, Texas is just about as big as California. Since area, Texas is much larger than California. So you can't say that by splitting California up, you get in better services. Texas's roads are better than California's roads, and Texas is a much larger. It's that you have people in Texas running conservative policies, and that leads to better outcomes than the people in California who have been running liberal policies.
And those conservative policies lead us to succeed in this country. That is what has driven the engine in this country. Conservative policies of competition. That sounds as though when you change the dynamic of the playing field, the way they're wanting to do it there, I am saying that that is taking away all of the incentive to be wealthy. And that's what I feel, that is what this administration has been after all the time, is to take away the incentive for anyone coming out of college, any kid who started down on in the bottoms, let's say, of Shreveport. Takes away all of his incentive to climb that ladder. What's the point? You'll never be as good as the Obamas or the Holders or Jamie Foxxes
or the Tim Drapers.
So
this isn't the only place where you're seeing a secession movement going on. You're also seeing it in Colorado. Some counties in Colorado voted to break away from the rest of the state of Colorado. And by the way, it's an area of Colorado about the size of the area of Vermont. And again, it was a rural area that was wanting to get away from some of the liberal urban areas.
We're envying the wealthy now. It used to be a time in this country when we didn't envy the wealthy. We wanted to be wealthy.
Right.
Folks, and that is still the goal of so many of us here in this country. We want to enjoy the fruits of liberty, of life, and pursuing our happiness. This is C.L. Bryant, America on the Edge. Well, you'll not live on the edge. You'll have the edge.
Coming up next, we're talking to Bill Cassidy about why folks should vote for him in his race against Mary Landrieu.
Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
The Italians are not the only lovers of pizza, but just to make the Johnny's Pizza House experience more authentic for you, we invite you to be Italian. We'll whisk you far, far away to a land of romance and squisito Italian pizza. A 12-inch for just $12.99 begins your journey. Our new bacon and tomato pizza seasoned with Johnny's special Italian blend. Enjoy, no. Goodere Johnny's bacon and tomato pizza today. Johnny's Pizza House. Taste the best.
You don't have to go far to get away from it all. Just 30 minutes south of Shreveport in the historic village of Grand Cane stands the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. This stately treasure was built in the mid-1800s before the Civil War. Today, antiques and homemade quilts fill king and queen size suites. Rooms come fully furnished with private baths and free cable and Wi-Fi. Plus, you get a homemade country breakfast from Grand Cane Gourmet Jane Bryant included in your reservation. The Cook Hill House is the perfect place for weddings, receptions, parties, and showers, or when simply planning your next staycation. Call the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast at 318-858-0800. 318-858-0800. That's 318-858-0800. Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. Victorian elegance with country charm.
SB Magazine, North Louisiana's premier publication, is your source for local entertainment, home decor ideas, gardening information, fashion trends, and seasonal gift guides. Every month we take you behind the scenes at some of Shreveport-Bossier's most fun events in Eye on SB. And you'll find SB Magazine everywhere. But the best way to make sure you have the most current issue is to subscribe. It's just $16 for 12 months. Call Debbie today or go to our website, sbmag.net. SB Magazine, the pulse of Shreveport-Bossier.
On your smartphone, you can check company email, stay connected with family on social media,
Play video games!
And now, listen to your favorite radio station. Introducing Radio Pup, an app you can get for your smartphone that lets you listen to your favorite radio station anytime, anywhere. Find out where the party's at tonight, what's going on in local news. Always be in the know with Radio Pup. Download Radio Pup in the iTunes Store or Android Market for free. Or head to radiopup.com. Radio Pup, the radio app that follows you everywhere. Brought to you by American Wholesale Mattress.
It's a summer sizzler showcase. You could win a $5,000 gift card to any Louisiana Boardwalk store, including Bass Pro Shops. Presented by the outlets at Louisiana Boardwalk. Look online to win at 710keel.com.
The Keel Business Partner of the Day. We announce it each day during Rush at 12:30. And you log on to 710keel.com and get signed up as a VIP to start earning points. From News Radio 710 Keel. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryan. I am Stephen Parr, and we are talking to Dr. Bill Cassidy, who's the representative for Louisiana's 6th Congressional District. And Dr. Cassidy is running for the Senate seat that is currently held by Mary Landrieu.
Want to welcome you to the show, Dr. Cassidy. This is C.L. America on the Edge.
C.L. Hello, Stephen. How are y'all?
Doing fantastically well, and yourself?
I am doing equally well, man. I'm taking on the most powerful man in the world and the senator that supports him 97% of the time, and it is a kick in the pants.
So I saw that you were releasing some of your fundraising, and you have, $5.8 million cash on hand. Is that correct?
Yeah, give or take, somewhere between 5.8, 5.9. I don't know the exact numbers, so yes, absolutely.
And I understand you guys are starting to roll out some new commercials with some of that money.
You should be seeing them in Shreveport. They're 90% of the state. We have not started our advertising in most of the state till after the 4th, but now that we've started, we will stay up until the election is over.
Doc, I want to take this time. We don't have a whole lot of time with you, about 13 minutes in this segment to go with you, so I want to get right down to these questions that we want to ask you, and we want to make certain that the people out there who will be potential voters for you understand who you are. I want you to tell us, why should we vote for Bill Cassidy?
Right now, the country has huge problems that affect our pocketbook, our health, our future as a country. Now, for the last 25 years, as a doctor, I've been working in the LSU Charity Hospital system, caring for the uninsured, the underinsured. And I've learned, CL, that when someone's uninsured and has health problems, oftentimes their pocketbook is in trouble too. It's a struggle. I see what I'm doing running for Senate as a continuation of what I've been doing for 25 years.
Now, Doc, a lot of people are saying Mary Landrieu's bringing home the bacon, and we're happy with the bacon. Dr. Cassidy may not know where the bacon is. What do you say to that?
Yeah, first, earmarks are outlawed. So if she claims she's bringing home earmarks, the president has said he will veto any budget with an earmark, number one. Number two, if you got a government contract, hey, man, you may want to vote for her. If you're one of us paying for that government contract, you may wish that it was done a little differently. Crony capitalism is not an excuse to send someone back to Congress. Lastly, if we're going to speak about effectiveness, big issue just before Louisiana, very much affected Northwest Louisiana, flood insurance. FEMA was implementing Biggert Waters in a way that was raising rates by $10,000 on middle-class families whose homes had never flooded. The bill that passed was the grim Cassidy amendment. My amendment, Senator Landrieu jumped off her bill in the Senate, got onto mine because mine was so superior. If we want to talk about effectiveness as a legislator, I'll put my record up.
She is claiming that we need to vote for her because she is the head of the Energy Committee in the Senate, and that is a very powerful position, one that's very important to Louisiana. If you win her seat, you would not have the tenure, the seniority into the Senate, presumably, to take over a committee that powerful. What do you say to that? Why shouldn't we vote for Landrieu if she's at the top of such a powerful committee?
Stephen, Senator Vitter called Senator Landrieu ineffectual. She said her number one priority was getting the Keystone XL pipeline voted on. She couldn't even get that done. As long as Harry Reid is Senate Majority Leader, there will not be a pro-oil and gas jobs bill on the Senate floor. Senator Landrieu has already declared if reelected, she would vote for Harry Reid for Senate Majority Leader once more. That tells me her priority is really not Keystone XL pipeline. It's reelecting Harry Reid, because Harry Reid will not allow a vote on Keystone XL. Now, she's using her seniority, but it's for Barack Obama, not for the people of Louisiana.
Now, Doc, let me tell you, there are some people out there, too, who say that you're not the true conservative in this race, and that your opponent, or the opponent who's running on this side of the ledger against you, is. How do you answer those things?
Yeah, my gosh. I've got, 100% rating with NRA, 100% rating with Right to Life, with Americans for Tax Reform, etc. I've got grassroots support from all across Louisiana, Tea Party groups, parish executive committees, State Central Committee, people like Rick Perry, governor of Texas, Mike Huckabee, Donald Trump. These are the people supporting me. Folks can slander as much as they want. Reality, look at my record, and I'm the conservative taking on Senator Mary Landrieu, and we're going to win.
Mary Landrieu's already been running some ads. The earliest I can ever remember an incumbent running television ads in a race. It seems to me that would be a sign that she's a little bit insecure about her position. But you also have people from out of state spending money to attack you from the right. So you're being hit from the right by individual groups. Mary Landrieu hasn't yet started coming at you as of yet in her commercials, but that's bound to happen. How do you feel about being squeezed from both the left and the right?
Two things. Those people running ads against me supposedly from the right, that's Harry Reid's Senate Majority PAC and a union. Now, they are actually supporting Landrieu, and they're attacking me. Now, Senator Landrieu's vote, she was an essential vote for Barack Obama's health care law, Obamacare. It would not have passed without Senator Landrieu. I can tell you the people in Louisiana are upset about that. So the left, in an attempt to hide that fact, is attacking me because I proposed health care reform as a state senator. I chuckle, gentlemen. They say Republicans don't have a plan if Obamacare is repealed, but when I have a plan that does not have taxes, does not have mandates, gives the patient the power of choice, gets people off of Medicaid as opposed to Obamacare putting them on it. And did I say it's voluntary? Then they say, oh, my gosh, they've got a plan, and they begin to attack.
Doc, name recognition is very important now. There are a lot of people still in northern Louisiana who really don't know who Bill Cassidy is. There's got to be something that will remedy that. What's your plan?
So Stephen asked at the outset about our cash on hand. We've been raising money for precisely this moment. And in northwest Louisiana, you're going to be seeing commercials about Bill Cassidy. And over the next 3 weeks, you'll see them pretty substantially. And then from here on out, we're running those. Again, people in Louisiana have been financially supporting our campaign. Big donations and lots of little ones. People on fixed income who want change. Now we begin to use that money to bring around that name recognition, to bring around that change.
I did notice that Mary Landrieu is currently spending more money than she's bringing in, and you are on the other side of that equation. You're bringing in more money than you're currently spending.
And by the way, Stephen, let me correct something you said earlier. She is now running an attack ad against me. I forget what it says, but she's now attacking us. So, what can you say? If we want to compare records, I oppose Barack Obama about 97% of the time. She votes for him 97% of the time. That's going to be a litmus test. I'm from Louisiana. She's going Washington. I feel okay with that comparison.
What has Mary Landrieu done as far as chairman or chairwoman of the Energy Committee? I mean, has she helped us? Has she hurt us? What will you do? Why should we vote for Bill Cassidy? You got to go back to this because if you're going to face us, you're going to have to face that Picayune down there and all of the other liberal outlets in this state. So we just want to put you on your game, Doc. We want to see how you're going to stand up to the pressure that's going to come. Why should Louisianians, again, vote for Bill Cassidy over Mary Landrieu? Because understand this, there are Republicans who do, in fact, feel as though they ought to vote for Landrieu because she's been there so long. How do you answer that?
Several ways. If you want a candidate that understands what struggling families are going through, that understands the impact of a health care law that for middle-class families, if you're not getting the subsidy, is hammering you, who has been consistently fighting this president's policies that have weighed down the average family, but has also offered alternatives that would make life better, I'm your guy, number one. Number two, whichever party wins in Louisiana, it's thought that party will control the United States Senate. If Senator Landrieu is reelected, Democrats control. Harry Reid is still the Senate Majority Leader. The U.S. Senate is a rubber stamp for Barack Obama.
There are people in this race with 5%, 2%. Well, I think the 2% are dropped out, but 5% of the polls in this particular race, and that can make a difference. Now, I know that you want people to do what their conscience dictate to them, but this is as crucial. This is very crucial, especially what you have just said, that we can, in fact, control the Senate with the Louisiana senatorial vote. What do you say to those who might peel off that vote, those 5%, that 8% away from Bill Cassidy?
Yeah, our country's future is at stake. If Bill Cassidy is elected, and right now in a recent poll, I was at 50, she's at 44, I think, and someone else is at 5. Now, the fact is that when I'm at 50 and Senator Landrieu's at 44, and there's not a whole lot of room otherwise, if somebody really cares about the future of our country, get on board. We're the one that has a chance to flip the Senate to make it so that Republicans control the U.S. Senate, so that a Republican majority leader will make sure we do get votes on Keystone XL pipeline, so the Senate is no longer a rubber stamp, but the Senate represents American values. Now,
Dr. Cassidy, we have about, I'm sorry to interrupt you, we have about 2 minutes left, and I want to give you a chance to explain in as big a detail as you can how your plan for fixing Obamacare or replacing Obamacare. Give me the details. What will you do? What will you get other Republicans to do to fix the health care problem in the country?
You start off by changing the basic premise. The basic premise of Obamacare is that government knows best, and government tells you what you have to buy, and if you don't buy it at the price they dictate, then by golly, they're going to penalize you. The fundamental of our plans is that the patient knows the best. The patient has the power. Let me give you one example how that might work.
Quickly.
Let's create price transparency so that when someone gets an X-ray ordered, they know the price of that X-ray before they go to get it done, as opposed to learning when they're billed 3 months later. One example of the patient having the power.
Doc, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We hope to have you back here often as we head toward this 2014 race. As I say to all the candidates, we hope you fight the good fight, and may the very best man or woman win. God bless and keep you. We'll talk to you real soon. This is C.L. Bryant along with Stephen Parr here with America on the Edge. We've been on with Congressman Bill Cassidy. And I want to tell you guys something. This is a very important race for the nation. We're going to make sure that your eyes are kept right here on that race as you listen to us here at America on the Edge at 710 KEEL Keel. We'll be back in a minute.
You're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
If you haven't yet, go to our website, AmericaOnTheEdge.com. It's different than most websites out there, and that's because it's not a website, it's our nation, created by Logic Nation. As we're launching this new kind of radio show, we decided to partner with a new kind of internet company. Logic Nation gives us a new way to interact with you through your existing social media platforms. We've got Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all in one place, which makes it easy. Too much of the time, social media becomes a place where we bicker and fight rather than listen and learn. Logic Nation gives us the ability to start a new conversation on air and online. So now when you go to our Nation page and start a conversation with CL or with me, we can stay focused on that discussion without getting distracted. It's going to change things, and I believe for the better. Logic Nation has an app to make it easier to browse content on your mobile devices. You can download that for free today. If you have a business that needs to reach your customers in a new interactive way, you should give Logic Nation a try.
Planning your next staycation? You don't have to go far to get away from it all. Just 30 minutes south of Shreveport, in the historic village of Grand Cane, stands the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. This stately treasure was built in the mid-1800s before the Civil War. The Cook Hill House is also the perfect place for weddings, receptions, parties, and showers. Call the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast at 318-858-0800. 318-858-0800. Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. Victorian elegance with country charm.
Some people think they can't afford LASIK. For others, it's just the fear of having LASIK that keeps them from enjoying freedom from their glasses and contacts. Hi, I'm Dr. James Lusk. For people who think they can't afford LASIK, we now offer interest-free financing and low monthly payments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Lusk, and for people who are nervous or fearful of having LASIK, we now offer blade-free eye LASIK, which in our opinion is the safest, most advanced LASIK procedure available today.
LASIK at Lusk Eye Specialists will not only change your vision,
it will change your life. So come and discover a new way to see with LASIK at Lusk Eye Specialists.
With 2 generations of eye care now available at Lusk Eye Specialists, Dr. Brian Lusk and I look forward to helping you make a more informed decision about having LASIK.
My dad and I look forward to seeing you in the office soon.
With 0% financing, low monthly payments, and our corporate savings plans, right now is the perfect time for LASIK at Lusk Eye Specialists. Call us today at 318-222-5555 for your complimentary, no-obligation LASIK screening. That's 318-222-5555.
Let me cut through all of the noise.
Rush is on every weekday from 11 to 2.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
Right here on your news and weather station.
Where consumers of hard news go.
On News Radio 710 Keel. 710 Keel. 710 Keel.
Is your house just not cool enough when you walk in from work? You deserve to sit in the cool and comfort of your own home after a long, hard day. Give the friendly folks at Premier a call at 222-1980.
Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr, and we are walking the line. We've been asking folks, is there a country that's more compassionate than the United States?
Name one.
You can send us a tweet at The American Edge. And by the way, we did get a tweet from our buddy, Vladster Putin, at Vladster Putin.
Oh, Vladster, man, I tell you.
Here's what he wrote. Ask Ukraine about my compassion. Agree with me or I cut off your gas.
Oh, now see there. Now, see, there's a failure here to communicate. There's a failure. And he didn't get the question. We're the most compassionate country on earth. We do want to hear from you on that particular question.
You can also call in 320-KEEL, 320-KEEL, and answer the question, is there a country more compassionate than the United States? This is what we're talking about, and there's a reason for it. There's a method to our madness, and it's because of what your buddy, Glenn Beck, has been doing. He's been raising money, raising funds, raising gifts, in-kind donations, to take down to the border. Now, Glenn is not happy with all the illegal aliens coming to the country.
No.
He's not happy with the government's response to it. But he is also not happy that there is a humanitarian crisis going on. And I want you to listen to him and listen to the sound of his voice as he's talking on his show yesterday.
But I and my viewers and my listeners have raised now over $2 million to bring your children a teddy bear or a soccer ball. It's what the churches have asked us to bring. We have brought shoes, and we are bringing over $1 million worth of food as well.
You know, Stephen, I know Glenn personally. I've done several venues with him, talk with him privately on several issues, been on the show many times. I'm going to tell you something about him. What I've learned about him over the last 2.5 years that I've known him is that, in fact, I spent the last presidential election night doing some commentary there at his studios in Dallas. He is sincere about his compassion. This is not any type of put on or anything of that nature. This man is very sincere about it. And again, the question of the day is there a country? Are there people in this country, in the world, who are more compassionate than Americans? There are some progressive liberals who like to tell you that there are. But I'd like to point them out to me. I don't know where they are.
I don't see any other country that has been as generous. And I have a friend who's an immigrant to this country, came from Belgium. And in Europe, their perception of the U.S. is that we aren't really compassionate people because our government doesn't necessarily give to things in the way they think their government should. Now, I don't think that's a fair comparison because our government gives lots of money to lots of different places all over the world. What he said is now that he's lived here in the States, what he realizes is that we do our giving individually and through church groups.
Right.
Not necessarily through the government. You and I don't give money to the government so that the government can be compassionate to other countries.
Right. And the government has no ability to feel anything.
Right.
They cannot be emotionally attached to any person because the government is not a living, breathing thing. It is we created it.
Yeah.
It is not a person. But, there's so many people, Stephen, who feel as though the government is some guy walking around here. The lady that we had the clip on yesterday, her first impression of Obama being elected to the presidency is that he was going to make everything right for her because now the government had this guy who was going to give us government's money.
Right. She thought Obama's going to pay for her car and gas, and Obama's going to pay for her mortgage. The real truth is, if you have a rough patch, you lose your job, you get sick, you get ill. If anybody's going to pay for your mortgage, it's most likely going to come from your church.
Most likely your church or family.
Right.
And that is where true compassion does live, in your faith, regardless of what your faith is. True compassion lives in what you personally believe about what you should do for another human being. And believe me, government doesn't care.
Here's what government does. Government says you can't take pictures and you can't talk to these people. Now, Glenn Beck's going to go down on his own. He's helped raise $2 million in cash and in donations. But the governor of Oklahoma tried to go to one of these facilities where people are being housed in her state, which she, by the way, didn't know.
Mary Phelan.
That's right. Yeah. She did not know that they were coming to her state in the first place. She went then and toured one of these facilities, and what she was told, this is what she said, according to Newsmax, she was told to, quote, be silent and have a quick tour and be out of here.
So the chief executive officer of the state of Oklahoma went to one of these facilities, and the chief executive officer of her state was told that she could not ask the government any questions about why these people were in her state. Are you kidding me?
She wasn't even supposed to talk to the people in the facilities themselves about how'd you get here.
Folks, this is an example of what we were talking about yesterday. The feds somehow have gotten the bluff in on you that they run the show. The truth is, in the way our nation has been set up by the founding, is that the strength of power lies in the states. We give to them their power. The states have no business coming into a sovereign state like Oklahoma and telling its chief executive officer that she has no right to ask questions about what they have placed there. Folks, when Eric Holder says there are people out there talking about we should take our country back, what we are talking about as grassroots people, as conservatives, about taking the country back is that this has gotten out of hand, Stephen, and this has to be reversed. That's what we're talking about, taking it back.
And that is not compassion from the federal government.
No.
The compassion has come from individuals. The government has set up facilities to house people and keep them away from prying eyes and questions.
Absolutely right. Folks, this is C.L. Bryant. America is on the edge, and we try to bring you the type of information and the type of show that will, in fact, stimulate the conversation in this country, because there are things that we must talk about. We'll be back in a minute.
This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
If you're tired of getting nickel and dime for your company's marketing needs, GI Marketing Group can help. We're a new, evolved marketing company with no monthly fees or markups and with quicker response times. With GI Marketing Group, there is no outsourcing. We own the production facilities, everything from print, mail, video, digital, and web design. We do it all in-house. Call us today at 318-222-1100 to start saving time and money, or visit us online at gimarketinggroup.com.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burns. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
This is Jim Lucas with Don't Major on the Minor, number 491 of 1001 Ways to Connect with Your Kids. Pick up your toys. Watch what you're doing. Don't spill your milk. Your clothes don't match. Eat your peas. Mom and Dad, are you nagging yourself right out of a relationship with your kids? Don't major on the minors. Major on the majors. Building a healthy bond with a mature, spiritually rooted child.
From Tyndale House, 1001 Ways to Connect with Your Kids.
Come on down to the Natchitoches NSU Folk Festival on July 18th and 19th in air-conditioned Prather Coliseum on the NSU campus in Natchitoches. Enjoy folk crafts, foods, narrative sessions, and plenty of music including Cajun, Zydeco blues, bluegrass, and country, with line dancing with the Liqueur Trio. Kids 12 and under get in free. This product is supported in part by an award from the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation. Don't miss out on the fun of the Natchitoches NSU Folk Festival July 18th and 19th.
Rush Limbaugh, the authority for all things right.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. Remember, most days I still feel like I'm 18 to 20. I mean, there's bumps in there, of course, but you look back on it on balance, it's not a thing I would change.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 710 Keel. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr, and we heard during the break from John from Webster Parish, and he pointed out a couple things. He said we conquered Europe, and we gave it back. Our Marines went to Mexico City, and we gave it back. And that is something on our July 4th show. I talked about how I was proud of this country because we essentially did conquer the world in World War II, and we freed it.
Yeah, and the only thing that we've ever really asked for in any of those places that we could legitimately colonize, we've asked for places to bury our dead, and you know, even in Iraq, we could have taken that oil, and maybe we should have. We could have had it all, but we gave it back. And I don't understand people who want to make us the bad guy. Yes, Glenn said this some time ago in a conversation. I've heard him say this even in the event that he had in Washington. America has been, in fact, it's in my movie, Runaway Slave. America has been terribly good and terribly bad at times. But overall, we're still the best nation that people still look to come to run to when there's trouble in their land.
As Bono said, we were talking about this earlier today, but as Bono said, England, good country. Ireland's a good country. But the United States is a great country because it was founded on a great idea.
A great idea. Yeah, Bono said Ireland is a great nation. Great Britain's a great nation. But America is a great idea. And, folks, I want to tell you something. There are people who we need to thank for that. And that is our men and women in uniform across this world who defend our right, Stephen, yours and mine, to be right here on the air, speaking our mind as the American soldier. And as I leave you, I want to say this to you. The best friend I've ever had, his name was Jesus. So we'll see you tomorrow around this time. God bless and keep you. Talk to you soon here on America on the Edge.
the damage and the pain. Shattered lives, wave away. Still they march on down that dangerous road, fighting for us, carrying the heavy load. And I
Your station for news, weather, and stimulus.